President-elect Donald Trump picking a new Attorney General nominee just hours after Matt Gaetz' decision to withdraw. Fox News Digital's political correspondent Brooke Singman live now with the very latest. Brooke, good morning.
Good morning, Maria. That's right. So President Trump appointing Pam Bondi to serve as Attorney General. Bondi served as Florida's Attorney General from 2011 to 2019, and she was the state's first female Attorney General. Before that, she served 18 years as a prosecutor. Now, as Florida AG, Bondi led efforts to combat opioid abuse and end human trafficking. She also helped recover more than $1 billion in consumer protection, antitrust, and false claims matters. Bondi is a longtime Trump ally, and the president says she will, quote, refocus the DOJ to its intended purpose of fighting crime and making America safe again. She is smart and tough and is an America First fighter who will do a terrific job as Attorney General. Now, this nomination comes just hours after Trump's first pick, Congressman Matt Gaetz, dropped out of the running. This after Trump reportedly told him he did not have the votes to get confirmed. Gaetz congratulating Bondi, saying, quote, Pam and I worked closely together when she was Florida's AG, and I chaired criminal justice in the State House. She is a proven litigator and an inspiring leader and champion for all. Meanwhile, Oregon Congresswoman Lori Chavez-Derrimer is reportedly being considered for labor secretary. She met with the president at Mar-a-Lago this week, and she also has support from Teamsters president Sean O'Brien. Trump will also name new leadership for the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Now, SEC Chair Gary Gensler announcing yesterday that he does plan to step down on Inauguration Day, while FDIC Chair Martin Gruenberg will resign the day before. And we are still waiting on a pick for Treasury Secretary, but the president-elect is reportedly closing in on Kevin Warsh, with the intention of him later taking over the Federal Reserve once current Chair Jerome Powell's term ends in 2026. Trump is also reportedly considering appointing investor Scott Bessent to lead the White House National Economic Council. He would later replace Warsh as Treasury Secretary. Maria?
All right, Brooke, thanks very much. Brooke Singman, a lot of plans here in place. Interesting to have somebody at the Treasury knowing that you're going to take over for the Fed when Jay Powell's up. Caroline Downey, your reaction?
Good morning, Maria. Yes, The Spectator described Trump's cabinet nomination process as musical chairs. And I think the sweet spot for Treasury Secretary for him is, as The Spectator said, someone who loves tariffs but will calm markets. And that's a compromise he has to look for. You know, Warsh seems like a very competent pick, but in 2018, he wrote against protectionism in the Wall Street Journal. And he warned that Trump could be leading us into economic isolationism, but he may have changed his tune. As for Pam Bondi, Trump on purpose has picked nominees, Maria, that have an axe to grind against their respective departments, and that's a good thing. Pam Bondi is no exception. As Florida Attorney General, where I'm from, she's very battle-tested because she fought against human trafficking, cartel smuggling, pill mills, and the opioid crisis. These are things that Kamala Harris only paid lip service to. She's going to work with border czar Tom Homan with blue states that restrict and oppose, border enforcement. And she's just as devoted as Matt Gaetz to Trump, but she has the necessary legal experience to reform the DOJ that's been weaponized against Trump. And the last thing I'll say is that this is the fifth woman that Trump has nominated. So I don't remember this part of The Handmaid's Tale, Maria.
Yeah, I love it. It's so many strong women around Trump. I agree with all of that. I think both Pam Bondi, highly regarded, as Kevin Warsh, also highly regarded, but also highly regarded is Senator Bill Hagerty. John, and Hagerty wanted the Treasury job, I think, and he would certainly apply his strength to the sanctions part of the role. But maybe Trump doesn't want to lose another seat in the Senate. That could be one of the reasonings behind his thinking here. But we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out, because all of these people were certainly top of mind and in the final list for Trump on Treasury, John.
Yeah, Warsh is going to be a great choice. He was at the Fed previously. He knows a lot about monetary policy, and he knows darn well that the Fed has to do what is necessary in order to, prevent another inflationary run-up by the money supply, an inflationary run-up by interest rates being cut too aggressively, though that is something that Trump might be pushing for early on in his administration. inflation. Let's not forget that one of the greatest policy mistakes made in the recent past had to be the fact that the Federal Reserve went ahead and basically very much supported this massive increase in the budget deficit related to the funding of COVID. And it was this Fed's cutting of interest rates, allowing the money supply to grow at a rate not seen since the Second World War, that got this latest bout of rapid price inflation started.
Yeah. No, Kevin Warsh is seen as an independent mind and certainly highly regarded as well. It's good. We're going to keep zeroing in on these picks and get some commentary around it this morning. We're just getting started.